as you probably know, I left LA. And if you don't know, then why don't you follow me on Instagram? I mean, like, you don't have to follow me, but also, how dare you? You know what I mean? So LA was home to me for so many years. So I'm gonna take you guys on a little trip down memory lane where I show you all the places I lived, everyone I lived with, and how much I overpaid for rent. And then at the end, I'm gonna talk to you about why I left LA. I feel like this is such a tag video. Like, everyone that moves out of LA makes this why I moved away from LA video. But first, I'm gonna show you guys the first thing that I packed in my suitcases, which was today's sponsor, Dollar Shave Club. By the way, have you heard of Dollar Shave Club? Because did you know that I'm a Dollar Shave Club partner? Having a subscription for razors really works out for me because I have brain fog and I can't remember to buy them. They're actually such a high quality that they're the only razors I use now. This kit comes with obviously a razor handle and a bunch of replacement blades and a prep scrub that's like a little exfoliant action, shave butter that you shave with, and then a post-shave dew. What a cute little kit. I just really like it because it's good branding and it looks really great on your sink. I love an aesthetic. I just love an aesthetic. You know what I mean? Like, come on, look how cute. Look at that. But my favorite of all of the products is the prep scrub because it smells really amazing. It gives you a little exfoliant. So visit dollarshaveclub.com/Stevie to get this little starter kit for only $5. And round out your grooming routine by upgrading to one of their premium products in addition to your $5 kit, like this post-shave cream that smells amazing. Have I said it smells amazing? So after that, the restock box ships full-size products at regular price. And do you know what's not a regular price? Rent in Los Angeles. Seamless transition. Okay, so when I first moved to Los Angeles, I moved from Florida. I had just quit my job. I had like a corporate job as like the director of client relations for a technology company, and I fucking hated it. So I quit, and then I burned all my business suits, and then I bought a one-way ticket to LA. And then I had just got a long-term contract with a website that wanted me to completely create content for them, and I was making 4 videos a month, and they were paying me $2,000 a month. So that was my income. I was obviously scared of being able to afford to live in LA. So to help me with that, I decided to make a little rule. And my rule was that I wasn't going to have the cost of having a roof over my head be more than 25% of my income. So that means that I needed to find a place that was less than $500 a month. So I moved to a studio in Venice Beach with no kitchen, and I shared it with another girl and 2 cats. Yes, we washed the dishes in the tub. It was actually pretty quiet, even though I lived on the Venice boardwalk, but I lived like on the inside of it, so I could just have pretty quiet living arrangement. But as soon as I walked out the door, I walked out onto sand and onto the crazy liveliness that is the Venice boardwalk, which was really cool. But there's no grocery stores, so that fucking sucked. So I ended up spending a lot more on fast food and having like groceries delivered. I think one time I tried to take buses to the nearest grocery store, and it was like a 2-hour round trip or something. Just on the buses. I had to take several buses. It was wild. Oh, I only lived there for like 3 months because I was a little boy and started hooking up with the girl that I shared a studio with, and I didn't have good communication about boundaries and didn't let her know that I wanted it to stay casual, and then she got so upset that when I was traveling at some event or something, she literally moved back home out of state and rented the apartment to someone else with all of my things and my cat in it. So that really sucked because it was so hard to find something that was that cheap in LA anyway. Wow, the sun just went down spontaneously and that plant moved by itself. Definitely didn't let my battery die. Okay, so after the me being a fuckboy roommate situation was over, I was stressed because I was like, I still need to keep up this 25% of my income rule so that I don't die / become homeless again. So I just couch surfed for a while, and basically I just needed somewhere to keep my cat. So I had a friend who was down to let my cat live at her apartment in exchange for $100 a month, and then sometimes I could crash on the couch if I really needed to, and then I would just like kind of couch surf other friends' houses or girls' houses, I don't know. And it was right off of Hollywood Boulevard, like literally right behind the Chinese theater. And so great. I can't believe like the 2 first places I lived were like, one was like on Venice Boardwalk and one was like on Hollywood Boulevard. So crazy. What the fuck was wrong with me? So then I finally found a situation. So basically, this guy that I bought a couch from off Craigslist, we kind of became friends after that because we both went to the same college, invited me over one day to hang out with him and his roommates. It was like this 2-story townhouse, and the stairs kind of went like up one, and then there was a landing, and then it turned up and went up the other way to get to the second floor, right? Because it was like really high ceilings in the first floor, if that makes sense. Am I explaining this okay? Anyway, there was a space between the stairs that was kind of like in the living room, but like a level up above the kitchen kind of situation. And I said to him, I was like, so would you rent that to me? How much? And he's like, I don't know. If you really want to live there, there's no walls, you wouldn't have any privacy. $400. And I was like, sold, bitch. So I rented the space between the stairs in this house of like 4 dudes. And they were very rowdy, but so nice. I lived there for a few months, and then I got my first girlfriend in LA. So of course we U-hauled. I moved in with my girlfriend into like this cute little loft apartment with a balcony, and my cat Ziggy loved it. He loved it so much, he would just sit outside and like watch all the people walk by. I like kept his litter box out there sometimes. He just loved it so much, and I was like, yeah, keep that cat smell outside, bitch. It was like a 1-bedroom loft apartment, so I was used to lofts at this point, I guess. So like if people stayed over, I had guests, it was like really not private, but it looked really cool, and like in the background of my videos, I had like stairs going up, so it looked really cool. So I paid $722.50 a month, and this is the apartment that I like first started making like dating and relationship advice videos. But my girlfriend at the time had like a really demanding day job, and she kind of got jealous when I hung out with people without her. So it was really lonely, and I spent a lot of time alone. So I wanted to move to a place that was bigger, where we could get a roommate and another cat. So this is the apartment I moved into, where I lived with 2 different girlfriends. So this pool area that I creepily shot through a fence because I couldn't get in is where I celebrated a housewarming party with one girlfriend and hitting 100,000 subscribers with another. And this apartment did not have a private balcony, so Ziggy started escaping through the front door. So I got another cat to keep him company, and it did not stop him. This apartment is where my channel really started to take off, and I got like hundreds of thousands of subscribers in a year. And the whole reason I moved to LA was that I wanted to, like, my dream was to like have a group of femme lesbian friends that would brunch every Sunday, and I would like live in a Bet and Tina house in West Hollywood. So I decided to try to find my Bet and Tina house. So my girlfriend at the time was a musician, and the biggest thing that she wanted in a new place was that she wanted a back house that was completely separate from the main house, so that it could be soundproof, where she could make music. And she wanted it to be below $2,400 a month, which was our top budget. And I was like, how the fuck am I gonna find a 2-bedroom house with a studio for $2,400 in West Hollywood? Are you fucking kidding me? And then I found one for $2,550 and it was rent controlled. What? So my share of the rent was like $1,275 to live in a 2-bedroom house on the inside, plus a studio in the back with a front yard and a backyard and a courtyard. And she couldn't raise the rent more than 1% a month, I mean a year. So I finally got my Bet and Tina house, and I loved it so much. But then we broke up a couple months later, so I had to figure out how to afford my Bet and Tina house on my own. So I got a couple different roommates over time, and then decided to try out Airbnb. And I loved it. I got to meet people from all over the world, and I made on average between $2,000 and $4,000 a month, but ended up making my rent so cheap. And I wouldn't actually have someone in my house at all times, so I could still have friends come and visit from out of state, and it had my full guest room that I got to decorate and have it look however I wanted. And also because I was renting out my guest room, I would also, when I traveled, would rent out my actual bedroom. So that made it to where when I was traveling, I made a lot more money. So I started visiting other countries because the money that I would make on Airbnb while I was gone would pay for my flights to those countries. So I was on a long vacation in England when Trump was elected. And like, I'd always known that like shit fucking sucked in my country, you know? I don't know, I grew up without health insurance, right? And so the idea that other people just had free healthcare was like so weird to me. I didn't know it was like every developed nation other than ours that had it. So the stark difference between knowing how my country operates and seeing how much we don't do our people justice in the laws that we pass and the things that we do, and then being in a country that does so much for a lot of people that are marginalized was really fucking stressful for me. But it's not like I could just move, you know? I have cats, I have my perfect Bet and Tina house, and I had a sweet deal with Airbnb that made it to where I basically had a fucking huge house for the same price that I was sharing a studio with no kitchen. So then 2 things happened. Ziggy got out of the house and got hit by a car and died. And then Los Angeles basically changed Airbnb regulations and made it to where I was no longer able to do Airbnb because I lived in a rent-controlled house and that's not allowed. Also, it looks like Trump's gonna get reelected and I just literally, I just can't. And then I was like, okay, so is the only thing stopping me from leaving the US an extremely well-behaved and adoptable cat? So I decided to close my Los Angeles chapter, find someone to adopt Whiskey, and travel across Europe. So I'm looking for a new place to call home. I sold all of my things except for 4 suitcases and flew to London. So cheers to Los Angeles, you were wonderful, and if I lived anywhere in the United States, it would be in you. You're welcome. Also, I'll be back in April, so like, see you soon, babe. Leave a comment below telling me which place in Europe I should visit. Also tell me why I should visit there. Updates since moving to London temporarily. 1, it's really hard to find coffee creamer here. 2, it rains so much here that I've discovered that my hair is way more naturally curly than I originally thought. 3, I really like crumpets and trains. I should have a crumpet on a train. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta go get on a train with some crumpets. Thank you so much to my lovely patrons for literally making these videos possible, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!